This is
unprecedented territory.
It really
where
is.
We have a show get canceled, and people's first reaction is, did the president make this happen?
In
so
this
crazy.
time where the court jesters have become the trusted newsmen, in this time where the court jesters have become the trusted newsmen, in this time where the court jesters have become the trusted newsmen.
CBS did this. They shockingly, although I guess it wasn't as shocking as maybe it felt when it happened, shockingly got rid of Stephen Colbert Show in May. It's going to be gone. This could be the death of late night TV on CBS.
All right, it's a Saturday. I've been doing errands, watching Rory McIlroy at the British Open make a run. I wanted to talk at length about the Stephen Colbert situation. And the reason I want to talk about it is because it's being positioned differently depending on people's politics.
What I don't understand is Paramount paid the president off with this settlement. Shouldn't that have stopped the problems? Did they not want their biggest late night talent calling this to attention? But 60 Minutes has just let Colbert do his thing, and now it's become totally outsized with the announcement that you're letting him go.
He said, I no longer have trust for my corporation. And that, to me, that was him going over the line in a way that he had to know that was the line. That's all I'm saying. I think.
So you're saying he should have been fired?
I am saying that he should have expected to be fired.
Were you surprised by this when you heard the news?
Yes. The short answer is yes, because I didn't think they would pull the plug like that. I didn't know, and I think most people around town did not know how much money Late Show was losing each year. CBS had kept that pretty quiet, and once I got into the numbers, it makes sense there that they would say, you know what, this is not salvageable.
What happened this last week was offensive to me on a couple of fronts. First of all, that show has existed for 33 straight years, 22 by Letterman and the last few by Colbert. But that show introduced me to televised comedy. I didn't even understand what I was watching late at night with David Letterman. It was so different from everything else that I had ever seen on television. But also taught me, oh shit, there's a dude on television who goes after his employer. That guy makes fun of the people writing his checks. And I'd never seen that.
So to me, I don't have a lot of pity for Stephen Colbert. He'll get a job, he'll be fine. But he didn't honor his friend, he didn't honor the joke. He was more about himself. He wasn't about the audience. He wasn't about making us laugh.
This is my take. I don't have full inside information. This is just me reading the tea leaves. I think this merger's going through. The new guy doesn't want to take over CBS Paramount, and the first thing you do is get rid of Colbert. But I also think the merger wasn't going through unless they start kowtowing to the president and stuff like this.
What's amazing to me is that CBS is willing to lie this flagrantly about it's strictly a financial decision, when it can't be strictly a financial decision. It's the highest rated late night show. Like, that is a bold-faced lie, even as programming tries to get cheaper all over the place.
There was just a big chasm because the show costs more than $100 million a year to make. Depending on who you believe, it's well over $40 million that it's losing, or about $40 million, which is what my sourcing says. It's just not tenable. And then you have the politics angle, which we can discuss. But no, once you get into the numbers, it's not surprising.
These people are important, and the idea that in today's time you can have the business come into the editorial to contaminate everything at a time we need the press to be stronger, we need voices to be stronger, to see corporate media bow to $16 million. It's a nuisance lawsuit. I understand why they did it. I understand. It's simply a business decision. But the blatant dishonesty after that is something that makes people not trust corporate media. Like, you can't say that's strictly a financial decision.
You take away the fact that it's a much smaller show on digital footprint. It has about a third the YouTube subscribers as Jimmy Fallon does on The Tonight Show, right. Half of what Kimmel has. And then you look at the other value that Colbert has for CBS, where he doesn't do a lot of other things for CBS. He's not hosting the Macy's Day Parade like Fallon is. He's not doing Millionaire for ABC like Kimmel is.
The show lost money, there's no question. They could probably get creative about how much they're saying it. You made the key point, though. It didn't have the same social media footprint as the two Jimmys. This goes backwards, though, because you have to really go to COVID, where that's really when the ad money started to shift for all of these shows. Partly because of COVID, the writer strike, but then you also have just habits are shifting.
Everyone realized during the pandemic, we've been doing TV all wrong. We could just do it on Zoom, and we don't have to pay people $7 million.
The Hollywood Reporter talked about it today. These shows, for the last 7 years, they've lost half of their ad revenue. Why? 2 reasons. One, young viewers don't stay up and watch TV anymore. The only thing anybody watches on TV is sports. I mean, that's pretty much it, sports and news. And in every 4 years, the political cable shows explode. The second reason they're dying is because the late night shows talk about politics, and that's a no-fly zone for a lot of advertisers.
This is what actually got Stephen Colbert fired. They won't say this, but this was the monologue a few days before he was fired, and importantly, a few days before the Sundance CEO, who is going to be a part of this merger, Skydance, was meeting with the FCC, and you now know what government institutions are doing, and this is what got him fired.
My mustache comes to you with a heavy heart because while I was on vacation, my parent corporation, Paramount, paid Donald Trump a $16 million settlement over his 60-minute lawsuit. As someone who has always been a proud employee of this network, I am offended, and I don't know if anything will ever repair my trust in this company.
The other thing is CBS owns that building, the Ed Sullivan Theater, and if you look at what they've been doing across the company, they sold Television City in LA, they sold Black Rock in New York. They are going to sell the Ed Sullivan Theater for a lot of money.
Right now, with Donald Trump as president, I think it's clear what law firms are doing, what companies are doing. You are trying as hard as you can to not be a target. Sometimes the way to avoid being a target is that you surrender prior to any attack. Pre-negotiated surrender, I like to call it. It's a good concept. It basically allows you to avoid any sort of the possibility of an outcome that you can't control.
As we're recording this today, he just said how he wants Washington to become the Redskins again, or he's not going to improve the K-Stadium. I think this is a piece of a bigger chess move where it's not just this. I'm genuinely worried about Stewart's show and the Daily Show and whether that's going to be next.
We saw it in Touch Sports over the weekend. This kind of shakedown mentality. Change the commander's name or else. What business is it to the President of the United States what a team decides to call itself? And now he's trying to get in the way of a real estate deal. This is what an authoritarian looks like.
The thing that you want to not have happen is you wake up in the morning and you go on Twitter, X, Blue Sky, whatever you go on, Truth Social, doesn't matter, and you see that Donald Trump has tweeted about you and your name. Josh Harris, the owner of the Washington Commanders, wakes up and he says, uh-oh. Trump says that He wants the name changed back.
To be clear to our audience, the reason why they paid that settlement, as long theorized by many people on social media, is they have this Paramount and Skydance have this massive merger, and you need the FCC's approval to pass this thing through, and Donald Trump is standing in the way of that. And we've seen things like this with law firms. We've seen it's not always a lawsuit settlement. We've also seen donations go to the presidential library. Some of the biggest tech companies in the world are doing that right now to curry favor with the president of the United States in what appears to be pretty transparent bribes and corruption.
So you're reading through the tweet by Donald Trump, and you're just waiting, and you're saying, please do not in any way associate this with our deal. Sometimes when you do a deal with the devil, you know it's not as good as doing a deal with the devil you don't know. Sometimes doing deals with both sides of the devil ends up with you getting burned.
But I've told you before that there are a stack of executive orders and other things that they can just throw into the publicity machine to try and get rid of whatever the scandal of the day is. And he's having all sorts of trouble getting rid of Epstein because his base is turned on him. And when I tell you that corporate media is failing, the guy he's presently sued is not failing.
So a few hours later, another statement, another tweet from Trump. My statement has totally blown up, but only in a very positive way. I may put a restriction on them that if they don't change the name back and get rid of the ridiculous moniker Washington Commanders, I won't make a deal for them to build a stadium in Washington.
With the Obama hoax, with the Commanders, he's reaching for any kind of popular diversionary tactic with his own base, because that's where his popularity is strikingly dipped, with his own MAGA base.
Because sticks and stones can break my bones, but names will never hurt me. Here's the sticks and stones. Money. Money. Money.
Jon Stewart is saying he's not sure about the future of Daily Show. He's not sure about the future of South Park. Jon Stewart, of course, got banished by Apple and is now not sure about the Daily Show. And the part that made me sad wasn't just the nostalgic memory part. It's the fact that Trump got $16 million for something that was just a nuisance lawsuit that had no chance of winning, and also got Colbert fired.
Listen, it's impossible to know. Trump could announce tomorrow that this was all his plan, and I don't think I would believe it.
How is it possible that Trump can get in the way of financing? Is it true that there has to be some federal involvement? Yes. In the District of Columbia to get that deal done, while it is true that the council has authority and the D.C. mayor has none, the D.C. mayor may or may not have it as part of the budget or what the D.C. mayor is going to fight for. But the reality is that there will be need. There will be the need at that stadium site for the federal government to have a say.
You reported on this about how, what's his name, George Cheeks?
George Cheeks is the
They have
head of
these multiple
CBS.
CEOs, right?
Yes. They have three CEOs running Paramount, but Cheeks is in charge of CBS.
And Chris McCarthy is the one in charge of Comedy Central, who is very instrumental in bringing Stewart back.
Yes.
And we also don't know which one of these CEOs, who has the most juice. Do they have equal juice?
No, we do know that Chris McCarthy is expected to leave, and George Cheeks is expected to stay.
At the end at ESPN around some of this stuff, I never expected to be fired. Never. And wasn't going to be. Because you don't take the hit on that. But the times have changed.
So my theory that I have voiced on the town is that I think George Cheeks is signaling to the new ownership with this cancellation that he can make the tough, unemotional decisions on money-losing sacred cows like seafood. And if it happens to please the president at a time when Skydance could really use the president to be happy with them, then that's a added bonus.
The Colbert Show was losing $40 million a year, and it's been hemorrhaging money for years and years, and it's got a huge staff. And so, yeah, like, I mean, that's not a viable business. respect the advertisers, and I 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 respect the advertisers.
So what do you do if you're Josh Harris? I very clearly have to now go speak to the president about this to find out what exactly he is going to do, how serious he is about this. Forget the blustery tweets or comments or off-the-cuff statements when traveling. When you have access to power, you have to be able to discern what is being used to show power and what is being used to keep power.
There's so much money at stake and so much real estate with whatever this merger is, that if this is the casualty, it's like, oh, just get rid of those two shows. Like, you know how these freaking super crazy rich people, like
these two
they're not gonna
money-losing
care.
shows that only cause us headaches.
I mean, you're pissing off Stephen Colbert. We wait with bated breath to find out what they do with Jon Stewart. These are all taped shows. Are they going to muddle that message? You add Matt Stone and Trey Parker to the mix. This is not a dilution by degrees. You are ripping away what is actually an audience driver for you.
The NFL is going to get involved. Josh Harris is going to get involved because that is a far more critical problem given the reality of what happened when that DC and their exclusive window that they had with this deal that it was announced, that window is basically closed. Josh Harris now has the ability to take his team elsewhere.
We're taping this on a Sunday, and I think it's really important we're taping this on a Sunday because, as far as I know, Jon Stewart has a show on Monday. And that is going to be the most fascinating show that we've had since the Letterman extortion, whatever that episode was, which we didn't know was coming.
But Bill Simmons, I saw a clip of Bill Simmons, and he pointed to tonight's Daily Show with Jon Stewart as one of the more fascinating nights and late nights since the extortion attempt on David Letterman. What was David going to say there? Because you have a guy in Jon Stewart who is one of the most recognized, if not the single most recognized personalities with that network, Comedy Central.
First of all, Jon Stewart is already rich.
Yes.
And he's already done a million kajillion things, and he could give two shits.
Yes.
Right?
For him, it's about his reputation.
That's it. He doesn't. He's gonna stand up for his dude, and this is it. This is, in my opinion, one of the most important shows he's ever done. There's no way he's not gonna talk about it.
Well, the question is, does he quit on the air?
The owner of the Cleveland baseball team, Matt Dolan, who is very political, has lost 3 elections in a row because of that ridiculous name change. What he doesn't understand is that if he changed the name back to the Cleveland Indians, he might actually win an election. Indians are being treated very unfairly. This is a quote from our president. MIGA, make Indians great again.
I think it's in play. I think it's actually like a must-watch show. Like that. It comes on at 8 o'clock here. Like, I'm definitely watching that live. 100%.
So here's a good question. If Stewart just dive bombs the entire company, quits on the air, drops some F-bombs, names, the whole thing, do they air it? Because he tapes.
I love Stephen Colbert. Smart show. I lean with him politically. I love everything about the guy. At the same time, I have to wonder, Stephen, you didn't think you might be fired by saying this? When you say the company paying my checks no longer has my trust, I mean, you're inviting yourself to be fired.
And then there's Stephen Colbert, who really got his, he played a character on Jon Stewart's show as kind of a far-right, buffoony, chest out, information and opinions, or full of opinions, not much information. And I love that character. I thought the character was funny. And then they gave him a show, and it was really bumpy at first, and then politics became front and center, and he was kind of politically savvy, and the show did well.
There's no action in that. There's no true existential threat in that. So what the Guardians did is they immediately, because they knew in what category they were being mentioned along with the Commanders, they sent out their president, Chris Antonetti, with a response.
And most comedians are making fun of people in power. So it's kind of, that's funnier than siding with the rich, powerful. It's more fun to make fun of the powerful. So in my life, I've always felt comedians kind of lean left to pick on people in power and poke them in the ribs. And that's fine. I don't really care. If the joke's funny, it's all about the joke.
I understand there are very different perspectives on the decision we made a few years ago. But it's a decision we made, and we've gotten the opportunity to build the brand as the Guardians over the last 4 years, and we're excited about the future that's in front of us. Outstanding. Why didn't the Commanders have the same response to this? Well, it's nothing personal. Aficionados know the answer to that. Because they can't.
It's about the joke and the story. It's about the audience and making them laugh and entertain. And I don't know why I'm so worked up.
They can't come out with something that strong saying, hey, nice tweet, don't care, we're good. Because what the Cleveland Guardians are not in the market for is anything federal related.
Dan mentioned Jon Stewart does host The Daily Show every Monday in 4 Comedy Central under the Paramount umbrella. The South Park creators will also have a very famous show, a legacy show in South Park, for that same parent network came out and said this merger is a disaster. It's why you're not getting new episodes on time.
Daily Show, by the way, also not a profit center, but the Daily Show is on Comedy Central. There has to be a certain amount of original programming on these cable networks to justify their carriage fees. So the economics are a little different there. It's also a lot less expensive to produce the Daily Show than it is to do a show like Late Show.
Are you seeing how this works? The next thing you'll read is that Maryland, Virginia, they stood up and they've got an offer on the table. They're ready to bring the Commanders, give them a deal. Are you seeing how this works?
When you start to really look at it, you say, okay, what are we even doing here?
Are you seeing how this works?
When you start to really look at it, you say, okay, what are we even doing here?
Are you seeing how this works?
And maybe this is just a format that now when we're in this TikTok, Instagram, YouTube era, and we have a gajillion podcasts, that maybe this is the natural end of the format.
Are you seeing how this works?
Maybe this is the natural end of the format.
Are you seeing how this works?
Maybe this is the natural end of the format.
Are you seeing how this works?
I don't know. I just don't think anything could have really stemmed the tide of the viewer erosion we've seen.
Are you seeing how this works?
Maybe this is the natural end of the format.
The people in charge are old. The people in charge were not ready for any of this streaming stuff. The CEOs who met with the writers during the writer's strike didn't know what they were doing because the new age has arrived and they don't understand what's happening. And all the people in charge are old.
Are you seeing how this works?
Maybe this is the natural end of the format.
Are you seeing how this works?
And all the people in charge are old.
They can do what ABC does and just run a 3-hour Bachelor in Paradise episode, which is what they did on Tuesday night.
Are you seeing how this works?
Maybe this is the natural end of the format.
And all the people in charge are old.
Or they have Kimmel, do 2 hours of Celebrity Millionaire on ABC. They do.
I support Celebrity Millionaire.
Are you seeing how this works?
And all the people in charge
Celebrity Wheel of Fortune. They have Elizabeth Banks doing Press Your Luck during prime time. They have Steve Harvey doing a judge show. There's a judge show starring Steve Harvey on ABC in prime time.
And all the people in charge are old.
Are you seeing how this works?
Maybe this is the natural end of the format.
And all the people in charge are old.
It's kind of amazing. And they do that because it's cheap. And the economics don't justify the amount of money they spend on scripted.
And all the people in charge are old.
Are you seeing how this works?
They're just cutting, and not doing originals on broadcast because these are like newspapers and magazines now.
Are you seeing how this works?
They are dying businesses, and the only way to make money on them is to suck them dry. Just cut all the costs and take the revenue as long as you can.
Are you seeing how this works?
And all the people in charge are old.
Are you seeing how this works?
And all the people in charge are
Maybe
old.
this is the natural end of the format.
I wanted to be Johnny Carson, but I moved into sports.
Maybe this is the natural end of the format.
I just love Johnny Carson. My dad loved him, and then I moved into Letterman, and Letterman was doing a show almost as an inside joke. You always felt like if you could get the inside joke, you were a little smarter than everybody else.
And all the people in charge are old.
Are you seeing how this works?
To be fair, 60 Minutes had an editorial piece at the start of one of their shows shortly after the settlement, and they came out against it.
Maybe this is how it ends. Like when we were growing up, you watch Carson live at 11:30. Like and if you missed it, there was really no way to see what happened unless you started taping on a VCR or something. And now it's like
You
if
talk
anything
about-
happens, but if anything happens on a late night show now, I'll be able to see the clip the next day. So you've removed all of the necessity to watch it in the moment.
Are you seeing how this works?
The fact that he's got 10 months in the chair to do whatever he wants is going to be pretty interesting.
This is more kind of an ode to how gifted and great our comedians are.
Does this issue metastasize to a larger Paramount question? They're negotiating right now to bring back the South Park guys. And South Park, South Park's dispute is over money. They have been fighting the new regime because the Skydance people have to approve the new Paramount deal. And my understanding is that they are working towards a settlement. But do those guys go nuclear on them?
Are you seeing how this works? Are you seeing how this works?
In this time where the court jesters have become the trusted newsmen,
Are you seeing how this works? Are you seeing how this works?
This is more kind of an ode to how gifted and great our comedians are.
in this time where the court jesters have become the trusted newsmen,
This is more kind of an ode to how gifted and great our comedians are.
in this time where the court jesters have become the trusted newsmen,
This is more kind of an ode to how gifted and great our comedians are.
in this time where the court jesters have become the trusted newsmen,
This is more kind of an ode to how gifted and great our comedians are.
Are you seeing how this works? Are you seeing how this works? Are you seeing how this works? That said, panic, commanders. It is very possible that this will work. Would it be sexy and exciting to actually be in DC? Is the juice actually worth the squeeze? Would it be sexy and exciting to actually be in DC? Is the juice actually worth the squeeze? Would it be sexy and exciting to actually be in DC? Is the juice actually worth the squeeze? Would it be sexy and exciting to actually be in DC? Is the juice actually worth the squeeze?
On the Media is supported by Dell. Introducing the new Dell AI PC, powered by the Intel Core Ultra processor. It helps do your busy work for you, so you can fast forward through, editing images, designing presentations, generating code, debugging code, summarizing meeting notes, finding files, managing your schedule, responding to your coworkers' long emails, leaving all the time in the world for the things you actually want to do. Leaving all the time in the world for the things you actually want to do. Leaving all the time in the world for the things you actually want to do.
From WNYC in New York, this is On the Media. I'm Michael Lowinger.
And I'm Brooke Gladstone. In all our years of scrutinizing the MAGA movement, we've never seen such division in its ranks. So first, the chronology.
Jeffrey Epstein claimed in a recorded interview during the first year of Donald Trump's presidency to be Donald Trump's closest friend. He said he was Donald Trump's closest friend for 10 years.
So first, the chronology.
Donald Trump proudly told New York Magazine that he's known Jeffrey Epstein for 15 years and Jeffrey Epstein's a terrific guy.
So first, the chronology.
And the Wall Street Journal is reporting tonight on the lawsuit filed against the newspaper. The Wall Street Journal says Trump for years has been a frequent litigant against media outlets, filing suits against a range of leading newspapers and networks. A number of his cases have been dismissed at early stages.
So first, the chronology, which began on July 6th in the evening with an Axios story, but took off on the 7th when everyone else jumped in.
Overnight, the FBI and Justice Department releasing 11 hours of footage they say helps confirm notorious financier Jeffrey Epstein died by suicide in his Manhattan jail cell in 2019.
So first, the chronology.
Public figures face a high legal bar. In defamation litigation, Supreme Court precedent requires them to prove a defendant knowingly published a false statement or acted with reckless disregard for the truth.
So first, the chronology.
But perhaps the biggest bombshell, investigators say they found no incriminating client list of Epstein's, no credible evidence that Epstein blackmailed prominent individuals, and no evidence that could predicate an investigation against uncharged third parties.
So first, the chronology.
A lot of them are just stunts that go nowhere and are intended to go nowhere. A lot of Donald Trump's lawsuits are designed to get him through the news day.
So first, the chronology. So first, the chronology. A bonfire that had blazed steadily for years, fed by the hot breath of Donald J. Trump, his sacred vow to expose the Democrats' yawning depravity, was suddenly a conflagration, and then an inferno, because as president, he didn't come through. So first, the chronology. So first, the chronology.
Donald Trump's lawsuit refers to the letter reported by the Wall Street Journal as, quote, the non-existent letter. Donald Trump, no doubt, made sure that his vice president shut up very quickly last night after demanding to see the letter.
So first, the chronology. So first, the chronology. Exhibit A, Attorney General Pam Bondi on Fox back in February.
One of the things that you alluded to, and this is something Donald Trump has talked about, the DOJ may be releasing the list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients. Will that really happen?
It's sitting on my desk right now to review. That's been a directive by President Trump.
So first, the chronology. So first, the chronology.
Rupert Murdoch has already lost over $700 million in lawsuits because of Donald Trump. Rupert Murdoch lost $767 million judgment for lying about voting machines for Donald Trump.
So first, the chronology. So first, the chronology. On July 7th, she shut it all down.
Are you seeing how this works? Are you seeing how this works?
In this time where the court jesters have become the trusted newsmen.
So first, the chronology. So first, the chronology. On the 8th, at a cabinet meeting with Bondi and the president, this from a reporter who seems to know it won't go well.
You say why he was missing from the jailhouse tape?
Yeah, sure. If I
could I just interrupt?
Sure.
Are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein?
Are you seeing how this works? Are you seeing how this works?
In this time where the court jesters have become the trusted newsmen.
So first, the chronology.
I mean, I can't believe you're asking a question on Epstein at a time like this where we're having some of the greatest success and also tragedy with what happened in Texas. It just seems like a desecration.
Are you seeing how this works? Are you seeing how this works?
In this time where the court jesters have become the trusted newsmen.
Are you seeing how this works?
So first, the chronology.
Rupert Murdoch knows that he can lose lawsuits because he's done it before. Rupert Murdoch is a 94-year-old billionaire on his fifth wife who does not want to lose a lawsuit again.
And all the people in charge are old.
Are you seeing how this works?
And all the people in charge are old.
Are you seeing how this works?
In this time where the court jesters have become the trusted newsmen.
So first, the chronology. The next day, Democrats and some Republicans vociferously demanded the promised release of the Epstein files, and have been doing that pretty much every day ever since.
Are you seeing how this works? Are you seeing how this works?
Rupert Murdoch knew that Donald Trump was threatening to sue when Rupert Murdoch approved the Wall Street Journal running this story. Last night, in his social media post, Donald Trump said that Rupert Murdoch, quote, stated that he would take care of it, but obviously did not have the power to do so.
Breaking news from the Wall Street Journal. Guess whose name DOJ found in the Epstein files?
So first, the chronology.
The Wall Street Journal is the enemy. They're coming after Trump.
So first, the chronology.
There is word tonight that President Trump has been told he is mentioned in the Epstein documents.
So first, the chronology.
Are you seeing how this works? Are you seeing how this works?
It's about the joke and the story.
In this time where the court jesters have become the trusted newsmen.
It's about the joke and the story.
Are you seeing how this works? Are you seeing how this works?
So first, the chronology. On Tuesday, Maryland Democrat Jamie Raskin, rankled by the conspiracy-fueled investigations into philanthropist George Soros, asked,
Why don't we have a hearing about the continuing suppression and cover-up of the information in the Epstein files?
Are you seeing how this works? Are you seeing how this works?
It's about the joke and the story.
Are you seeing how this works? Are you seeing how this works?
Because President Trump, Attorney General Bondi, and their allies in the DOJ and FBI repeatedly claimed in public that the Epstein files have the names of power elite actors involved in human trafficking and sexual abuse of minors with convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein, and they promised to release all the information in the name of maximal transparency. Remember that?
So first, the chronology.
They said this would be the most transparent administration in the history of the United States, but now they're shouting nothing to see here.
So first, the chronology.
Attorney General Pam Bondi privately told Donald Trump that he appeared in the Epstein files multiple times. And she told him this before her Department of Justice declared the Jeffrey Epstein case essentially closed. Nothing to see here, and declined to release any more files to the public despite all kinds of promises to the contrary.
Are you seeing how this works? Are you seeing how this works?
Oh, there are plenty of Democrats, but not just Democrats. lots of prominent Republicans, too. Among them,
it's just a red line that it crosses for many people.
Redoubtable Georgia Rep Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Jeffrey Epstein is literally the most well-known convicted pedophile in modern-day history. And I really think people deserve transparency on that. And it's not wrong to continue to push for it and ask for it.
It's about the joke and the story. It's about the joke and the story.
In this time where the court jesters have become the trusted newsmen.
Are you seeing how this works? Are you seeing how this works?
And Missouri Senator Josh Hawley in high dudgeon.
This is one of the worst human trafficking rings in American history, run by this scumbag. And I think the more we know about it, the more we get out there, the better it is.
It's about the joke and the story. It's about the joke and the story.
Are you seeing how this works? Are you seeing how this works?
And House Speaker Mike Johnson in mild discomfort.
We should put everything out there and let the people decide it. I mean, the White House and the White House team are privy to facts that I don't know. This isn't my lane.
Are you seeing how this works? Are you seeing how this works?
And plenty of those online influencers like InfoWars Alex Jones, the kind of people the president has always relied on. But when it came to calming the restive Nagaminians who lived online, they weren't much help.
The reason that you are seeing this deep six is because the CIA with the Mossad and MI6 was running Epstein, and it was an official U.S. government operation.
The joke and the story.
In this time where the court jesters have become the trusted newsmen.
So first, the chronology. Here's the nation's most popular podcaster, Joe Rogan.
Like, look, where's the Epstein files? Oh, can't find them. Don't exist. Like, they can get away with
It's about the joke and the story.
The chronology.
It's about the joke and the story.
In this time where the court jesters have become the trusted newsmen.
Are you seeing how this works?
So first, the chronology. And here's far-right flamethrower Jack Posobiec.
I will not rest until we go full Jan 6 committee on the Jeffrey Epstein files.
How this works?
And one-time Trump dinner guest, the anti-Semitic white supremacist Nick Fuentes.
Are you seeing
how
this works?
You are fat. You are a joke. You are stupid. This entire thing has been a scam. We are going to look back on the MAGA movement as the biggest scam in American history. And the liberals were right. We will see Trump as a scam artist.
Are you seeing how this works? Are you seeing how this works? Are you seeing how this works? Are you seeing how this works?
And I don't know why I'm so worked up over this. I don't know why I'm so worked up over this. I don't know why I'm so worked up. 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 I don't know why I'm so worked up.
It's about the joke and the story. It's about the joke and the story.
Are you seeing how this works? Are you seeing how this works?
And I don't know why I'm so worked up over this. I don't know why I'm so worked up. 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 I don't know why I'm so And I don't know why I'm so worked up. And I don't know why I'm so worked up. And I don't know why I'm so worked up. I don't know why I'm so worked up. I don't know why I'm so worked up. I don't know why I'm so worked up.
Are you seeing how this works? Are you seeing how this works?